Hello again, YouTube. Lair here. This is my second time trying to record this video. I just heard some commotion in the hallway from my apartment. So, welcome back to part 3 of the Ikoria Booster Box Challenge. So, this is basically where we ended up. So, of course, we chose our commander in the last two videos, which is, of course, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, or as it's known by its other name. Let's see if it focuses. Come on, focus. There we go. So, oh yeah, it's really dusty by the way. So, the Strength Incarnate. Okay, so we're gonna build a deck around that, and this is basically where we end up. So I mean, like I had to choose a theme, I chose Trample. So this is kind of where we all end up here. So most of the cards are Trample related. So I had to choose something like Giant Stringer because it's just sort of filler. But yeah, Ferocious Tigrella. So of course, when there's a battlefield. Enters the battlefield with a choice of a trample counter or menace counter. Both are pretty good actually, but because this is trample, we want to probably choose trample. Menace, of course, means that you need 2 or more creatures to block it, but trample would also be good. So that Frill Scare and Frill Scare Mentor doesn't really fit in much except for like the menace thing. Momentum Rumbler. So okay, there's a little bit of first strike going on there. Parasiteratops. Has trample, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Rooting Malach, or Malach, I don't know how to pronounce it. When there's a battlefield, you exile a target card with cycling from your graveyard, and of course until your next turn you can play that. That's actually not bad. Spell Eater Wolverine again, that's with spells and stuff like that. Yidaro, of course, is more of a close fit, Trample and Haste. When you cycle Yidaro, shuffle it into your library from your graveyard. If you cycled a card in Yidaro 4 more times from the game, put it onto the battlefield from your graveyard instead. So of course you'd have to cycle a lot, probably with that. So yeah. Ideally that's not best candidate, I guess. Of course we've got the Almighty Brushwag, which has trample, and of course the 3 green, it gets +3/+3 until end of turn. That's not bad. I mean, like, you're paying 1 mana, and then of course you're just paying the rest afterwards, so like it technically costs 5 in total. Bristling Boar, it kind of fits with the trample theme a little bit. It can be blocked by more than 1 creature. Excavation Mole, it could actually be helpful because it mills the top 3 cards in the library, and if you can find a way to get some of the cards back, of course you cycle and stuff. Well, actually, that's not a bad idea. Furlid, it's an elemental. It doesn't have trample or anything, but there's a battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and then of course you just move counters and stuff. You remove a +1/+1 counter for it. It's just a land fetcher. Ramp. Gem Razor, again, mutate, and it's got Reach and Trample. Mutate's not really a big theme of this deck, but I had to do with some mutate cards and stuff. When it mutates, destroy a target artifact or enchantment and opponent controls. So now when you're first playing like green, then yeah, you want to have artifact or enchantment removal, because otherwise if you have like pacifism, if your opponent plays pacifism on something like that, you can't attack with it, obviously. So you have to have that for a green deck. Great Sandworm, that's just another cycling card, but it can be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so no chump blocking there. Would be nice if you could give it trample, and it's basically just this big unstoppable creature. Hornbash Mentor, of course, when there's a battlefield, put trample counter on target non-human creature you control. Gee. Maybe that would be a good candidate for it. Hubble Naturalist, of course, that's just a mana dork for creatures. Kogla the Tiny Ape. I think there's actually a King Kong one, isn't there, for the Godzilla series? Anyways, when there's a battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Fighting is actually not a bad mechanic for this kind of deck. Whenever it attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Defending player controls, of course, more artifact enchantment hate there. And then, of course, this ability is 1 green, Return target human you control to its owner's hand. Kogla gains indestructible intelligence return. So that's not bad. I mean, like, this is kind of more dinosaur themed and basically non-human themed. So I mean, like some of the other ones, like the Stinger and the Feral Mentor. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely return those back to your hand. No problem. It wouldn't really affect much. Yeah. And so anyways, I've got some other ones here, which of course I had to pile this up because there's only so much room on this playmat. I mean, like, this isn't even a full 100 cards, so I'm just gonna go through them one by one. So Migratory Great Horn, again, another mutate card. When it mutates, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. You can see there's a lot of ramp in this deck because there's a lot of high cost creatures in the deck. That looks it. Just want to point out the commander rule still applies to this card. So this card, if we can get it focused, Godzilla Primeval Champion, which of course is, come on, focus. So Titanoth Rex. So basically the idea is that even though these cards, even though they're different in appearance and stuff like that, this is still technically Titanoth Rex. So I mean, like, you couldn't have another card called Titanoth Rex in the deck. I mean, like, yeah, sure. That's the thing I hate about these Godzilla cards, because, like, yeah, I mean, this is cool. It's got nice artwork on there. It's all foily. The thing is that a new player could easily get confused by that. I mean, like, if they just thought, oh, Godzilla Primeval Champion, I can also include Titanoth Rex in there. Well, and then of course they get around to playing commanders. Like, why do you have two of those cards in your deck? You're not supposed to have it. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the confusing part. But anyways, back to the rest of the deck. So Trample, of course, that fits with the theme we've got here. Godzilla killing the monsters. Cycling is, of course, 1 in green. I kind of wish there was more in terms of cycling lands, for just the like mono green options. That would make it easier to build a deck and stuff. When you cycle Titanoth Rex, put a trample counter on target creature you control. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, like, you're if this with the theme of trample +1/+1 counters, etc. Speaking of cycling lands, I just thought I'd mention, I've got to put this in the video somewhere. As far as results, then we managed to pull or I managed to pull. I mean, I was the one that was opening the box. I've opened 4 of the 5 cycling lands, the Triumphs. So one of the ones I was hoping for was let's see if I bring it down here. Is Rogan Triumph. So in a way, I'm actually not surprised that we didn't get a Rogan Triumph, because there's no Narset in the box. I've got a feeling that because, of course, this is closely tied to draft. Yeah, you're still kind of booster packs. Because it's closely related to draft, then, like, if there was a Narset in the box, then we probably would have pulled the Triumph as well. So anyways, getting back to the deck list. So of course we've got the Coursewood Crasher. Again, Trample. Let's stop focusing. I'm using my phone's camera. Whenever one or more creatures you control with Trample deal combat damage to a player, create a XX green dinosaur creature token with Trample, where X is the amount of damage those creatures dealt to that player. I don't think we got that token. But yeah, I'll probably just make my own or whatever, or just use a die, because that's what commander players do. They just use whatever kind of for tokens. Adaptive Shimmer. It's got flash and it enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. So not bad. I mean, you're paying 5 for it. So anyways, yeah, again, thing with the theme of the +1/+1 counters. Firefinder, that's just more ramp and stuff. Actually, of course, it's just searching for mana. So yeah, the rest of the deck, Blazing Volley. That's just dealing 1 damage to each creature and stuff. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor. I can't remember what that does, to be honest. Deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the number of instant sorcery cards in your graveyard. That creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it. So of course, this thing with Spell Eater Wolverine, which is something I want it to do. So yeah. Next, of course, there is Clash of Titans that really fits in with the theme of Godzilla. Target creature fights another target creature. It's just more expensive version of Prey Upon, I think. Which that's surprising they didn't put that instead, unless I didn't just pull it. That's all. Fire Prophecy is basically an overcosted lightning bolt, I think, kind of. It deals 3 damage to target creature. No, well, of course, it's just creatures anyways, but yeah, it'd be kind of cool if you could choose target creature or player or planeswalker. Of course, it'd just say any target. You may play a card from your hand on top of your library. If you do, draw a card. I really think this, in a way, this card is kind of left over from the Arrows Beyond Death, probably. It's just that they didn't have room for it, so decided to print it on Ikoria instead, probably. After that, we've got Flame Spill. Of course, it's just removal again. It costs 3 to get rid of a 4-cost creature. Or no, 4 toughness creature. So yeah, excess damage. Oh yeah, so basically it's a removal spell, trample kind of. So it does 4 damage to target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Oh boy. So yeah, Footfall Crater. I almost thought for a moment that it said like Football Crater. It's like, yeah. But anyways, Enchant Land has tap target creature against trample and ACL and of course that's of course the thing with the whole trample theme. There's only going to be one of those in the deck, obviously, but it's pretty helpful. I mean, it only costs 1, and of course you can cycle it. And then of course Forbidden Friendship, because of course dinosaurs. So yeah, create a 1/1 red dinosaur creature token with haste, and 1/1 human soldier creature token. So of course you're getting 2 for 1. I mean, it costs 2, so you're getting both the human soldier and the Dinosaur of Haste. So Dinosaur of Haste, it's kind of basically like a free Raging Goblin almost, because Raging Goblin has haste and it's a 1/1, I think. Yeah. I don't know why I even had to check that. Okay, so then of course I've got to update the thumbnails for my other videos anyways. Go for Blood, of course. It's another fight spell, basically of cycling. Luca Coppercoat Outcast. Of course, this is the one we pulled. I've really kind of got to tease this because I think we pulled it in the second part of the video for opening the box of Ikoria. So of course, this guy's got all kinds of great ideas, great abilities. Sorry. So exile the top 3 cards of your library. Creature cards exiled this way gain. You may cast this card from exile as long as you control a Luca Planeswalker. There's a lot of happening in Magic these days. Casting stuff from exile. Exile target creature you control, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Higher confirm mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So yeah, +1, -2, and of course its ultimate is each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Yeah, this is definitely a commander card. Okay, so then of course the other ones we got. I'm not gonna go through all these, but we got Raking Claws. That's pretty good. Rumbling Rockslide, of course. I've got a feeling this might be in Zendikar Rising. Just by the name of it. Deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands controlled. Because of course the lands matter. I wouldn't be surprised if they reprint this. I'd probably be surprised more if they didn't. But yeah, this seems like a Zendikar Rising card. That's something that Wizards has also been doing a lot. They've been reprinting stuff, in other sets, which they've already reprinted, and they don't need to. I remember with Rivals of Ixalan, they reprinted Sailor of Means again, and it's just in the previous set already. So I don't know what the point of that was. Shred Sails, that's just artifact removal and also potential damage. Tentative Connection, costs 3 less. Control of creature of menace, basically gain control of target creature. It's basically an act of treason. Weaponize the monsters, aka strap laser cannons to their backs. Sacrifice a creature, weaponize monster deals 2 damage to any target. Adventurous Impulse, of course, that's just looking for lands and stuff. I'll just read it quick. Look at top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land from among them and put it into your hand. You may put and put the rest of them on the bottom in any order. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's reprint from Dominaria. Barrier Breach, exile up to 3 target enchantments, more enchantment hate there. Charge Forever Beast. Have to any sacrifice, or you have to reveal a creature from your hand. It deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the number and to the revealed card's power. And of course, you're going to want to have a lot of strong creatures in this deck. Very high power, kind of low toughness, because that's what Godzilla cares about. Fully grown, of course, more trample counters, and basically giant growth kind of trample counters. Yeah. Leaves a Stampede, of course, that's just the creature search card. Hold on, let's see. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a number of creature cards from among them for the reveal cards in your hand. Let's put the rest on the bottom in the order. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a card called Collected Company back in Dragons of Tarkir. That's a really expensive card now. Migration Path, it's again searching for lands and putting them on the battlefield tap and stuff. It costs 3 in green, so yeah, you're getting not bad for mana. Just gonna look at the top card here. That's basically just naturalize. Toward the enemy, prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn by creatures your opponent's control. That's Fog, essentially. Survivor's Bond. That sounds almost like something that would be in like a zombie apocalypse sort of theme set. Kind of return target creature, any human creature from your graveyard to your hand, or also return target non-human creature from your graveyard to your hand. This is basically like a Raised Dead or what is it? Disentomb in green. Actually, it reminds me kind of a bit of that one card from War of the Spark that lets you get a Planeswalker. Aid of Fallen, I think it was. Yeah. So sudden Spinners, of course, target creature and gets +1/+3 until end of turn. Put a reach counter on it, untap it. Let's put that down for a second. My hand is just getting really tired of holding it. Okay, ramp through. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Yeah. Again, trample. Plummet, that's just flying creature removal, and then of course monster step. Target creature gets +7/+7 until end of turn. To one other target creature blocks this turn of Able. Cycling 2, Thought we also had classification. Oh yeah, we do have classification in the deck. Classification being one of the most broken cards right now, I think, in this set. So just give me a sec here. I think we already went through classification. So of course, enchant creature. Classification enters battlefield. So basically, it has a sort of thing where you don't get to use it immediately. Tap target and tap enchanted creature. That's the only thing that really keeps it fair. But then afterwards, enchanted creature gets +20/+20. That is kind of crazy. It does cost 7, of course, but at the same time, I played a mono green deck, and this one would just be crazy bonkers. The thing is that it doesn't give trample. Was it Prodigious Growth? Back from Core 2019, I think it was. That was a crazy broken card because you give it to I ran a Juggernaut deck, and a green one. So Land War Owls, you basically use that to ramp the Juggernaut into play, and then of course you give it a crazy enchantment like Prodigious Growth, and then of course it's basically this giant unstoppable machine. And of course, I don't know how much more this is going to see in play. Mostly everyone's more concerned about M21 spoilers. That's what the new trend is right now. So yeah, I'm just going to put these cards back here. Now, as far as artifacts, in terms of artifacts, this set has basically no artifacts. They've got the crystals, they've got the Ozolith, Sleeper Dart, and Spirit Dart Trap. So Yeah, of course the crystal. I mean, of course it's 3 colors, but you can only really use 2 of them. I mean, like you could still include it in the deck. I think. I mean, depending on the ruling, I need to double check with my judge to see how you do it. So you add green, blue, or red to your mana pool, which of course that doesn't say it on there anymore because Wizards doesn't print it like that anymore. And of course it's got cycling too. So yeah, I think you can only really run it if it has the appropriate mana symbols. But I had to check. I mean, with lands, of course, I think you're allowed to do that. Yeah, I mean, you have to remember its color identity. The Ozolith, which of course is a legendary artifact. Oops. That's how I found my videos. I used an old Wii U controller stand on top of my commander deck box. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on the Ozolith. So basically, it's like a memory stick. It saves your counters kind of, and then you can redistribute them later. At the beginning of combat of your turn, sorry, I can't speak today. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if the Ozolith has counters on it, you may move all counters from the Ozolith onto target creature. So yeah, I mean, of course it stores your counters, and of course it redistributes them once you find creature, you put them on. And then lastly, the other 2 artifacts is Sleeper Dart. It's basically just its control kind of. You sacrifice it, and target creature doesn't tap until its controller's next on tap step. This really goes good like Frost Links and stuff because of course, it has basically the same effect. Oh yeah, when we're in the battlefield, draw a card. And then of course the last noteworthy artifact is Springjaw Trap. Flash, sacrifice it, deals 3 damage to any target. So of course it's gonna snare Godzilla, but of course we're using it for our deck. We don't want to kill Godzilla though. But yeah, like if your opponent's running lots of 3 toughness creatures, that's helpful. So lands, you roughly need about like 36 lands or something like that in Commander. Heck, maybe slightly more or slightly less. So Rugged Highlands, it's a game land, so there's a battlefield tap, but on the plus side, you're getting 1 life, and of course taps for green or red. And again, Buyer's Enclave, tap, add colorless, and pay 3, tap it, draw a card. Activate this ability only if you control a creature 4 or greater. So we've got a lot of we have some small creatures, but at the same time we've also got a lot of big ones, I think. Following Wilds are just for sort of fetches for basic land, which we didn't get a lot of. We only got 7 in the whole box, and so basically I think in total we ended up getting like at least 65. So obviously, I think there's more, but it's just I chose only the best for this deck. So in conclusion, you could kind of build most of a commander deck, but you couldn't build a whole 100 card deck out of 1 booster box. Although here's the thing, I only chose Godzilla. I had all kinds of different options. I could have gone with, I could have easily gone with and the other legendary cards I pulled. Like, let's see here. So of course we had Riel the Everwise. I mean, like I pulled a promo of her back in my previous kit. So I mean I could have built around her and stuff like that. Now, in terms of red blue, I don't know. Let's see. I have my lands here still, like the ones I pulled from the box. And in terms of lands, oh yeah. In terms of islands, I only pulled 4 in total. So again, that's not really a good idea. So even the 2-color deck, islands and islands, that would not work. I'd only have 8 lands in total. Now, as far as a 3-color deck, might be a little bit more possible, but still pretty impossible. You still have a lot more options, for creatures and spells. Like, let's see. Where's that 3-color creature? Like, Nethroy, Apex of Death. Okay, so it's got a color of identity of white, black, and green. So how many white, black, and green lands do I have? So we've got 3 forests. But then how many plains and swamps do we have? Answer, probably not a lot, to be honest. Oh yeah. So in terms of plains, we pulled like 3 plains out of the box. So 3. We pulled 4 swamps. So that's 7 and 10. So basically, you just can't get a mana base for commander out of a single booster box. So I mean that's it, And like, there's only so many basic lands, and besides basic lands, there's only so many other just regular lands. Anything else? Could we have used anything else to maybe build a deck? I don't know. Let's see. Let's have a look here. Really, otherwise, Jaruda, I'm doing this. That's not possible. I mean, it's a companion though. But yeah, you just can't build a full 100 card commander deck out of just on like one single booster box. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. I've got a secret lair coming in the mail soon. Like it should be and I think the expected ship date was supposed to be like August or something like that. So basically, when that comes in, I'll plan on getting that filmed and stuff. I'll upload it for you guys. So yeah, see you in the next video.